Okay, let's pick it up where we left off yesterday. Let's get my windows kind of moved back up. So let's go back out to the output. So yesterday, let's go ahead. Now remember, yesterday I kind of told you I like to use Visual Studio, and actually with Visual Studio, I also like to um, make sure I got the right one. Okay, that's the wrong project. Let me get rid of that one. Let me get the right project up here. Okay. So I like to have Visual Studio overall kind of opened. And so this is the Byte React app. But a lot of the more detailed stuff that I do, I kind of do it in Visual Code. So here we are in Visual Code. This is the same project as this one. And what I did today was basically I added navigation first of all to it. So I had to go out and get the header and the footer. Added those two, and then I've added a navigation and a layout. Okay, here, let me change this. This is not Northwind. This is actually dummy data, dummy JSON. Okay, all right. So that's what I've added here with basically the layout and the navigation bar, and then of course, just to kind of make this page look just more like what I've been kind of wanting. So let me kind of come back up in here and just run this real quick. Terminal, new terminal, and give that just a second, and then in npm run dev, and then we'll click on this, and that will bring up the project. So now we have, as I mentioned, we have a header now, and we have a footer, and then basically we had originally just a product, so I kind of moved that into its own page. Let me hide this. Kind of move that into its own page. So, and then we have its own nav bar, which is just this. There's only two pieces in the nav bar, and as you can see in the actual code, you'll see where I have products and I have carts. And they're actually styled in a drop-down type. So this products here represents the two drop-downs here. And once again, I'm going to say that the code is actually out there for free out on GitHub. So all you got to do is just download the whole project, and you can basically, the one thing you have to do is when you do download it, is you do have to do the install. So there's a README text inside of that that tells you everything you need to do back up inside of your code, of Visual Code. So down here, when in your terminal, you're going to be running all of these commands. When you first install this app on your local folder, make sure you do the npm install, the Axios, the React router, material UI. I also try to load Tailwind, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But if it doesn't work, just go ahead and load up this other one here. I think it's called Charaka or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so this is out there, and so let's go back and look at this just a little bit more in detail. There is a page not found. So the key is when you look at the main, you have to, everything that you have that is going to be represented inside of the page, you have to put that in here in your import, and then your layout. And your layout, this element products, is the element that the navigation will go look for to go pull back. So if you look here under navigation, you'll see where it says /carts/products. Well, that's going to go back and match up against your main for your /products. And this about here, so this home, if you look at the home up here, it tells you exactly where that page is. So if you look under pages and you look under home, you'll see that, but if you look under products, you'll see those different two files. So that's kind of key, and you'll figure that out once you get the code and start debugging it. But that's what we've done there. And so, like I said, I moved the carts out, and then what I've done in the carts to make things just a little bit better to read, inside of carts, I decided to go ahead and do the master and child record, or parent and child record. So you have basically two constants here of field arrays, and the first one is basically the carts. So this is all the cart info, and then here this is the actual detail for each cart. And once again, I'm getting all that information from this, from the UI. So if I were to come over here into the UI, you will see that the data is coming back like this, but there's enough information inside of this that it also contains the detail. So what I'm going to do basically is create two groupings. One is the actual cart itself, and the second grouping is actually more of the detail in that first grouping. And then because I'm using Material UI, it's going to basically create my data grid, give it the properties that it needs, and then on this on row click, it's going to go out there and do the select cart, which now will bring up the detail of that page. And so once again, every one of these components, and this is the grid component, so this one is the carts. These properties will basically determine how the look and feel is going to be of that. So you can actually set the size, it's 100% across, and then also in the second detail box, you can go ahead and set that also and kind of give it a title on top of it where it's product details. So when you look at this, as I click on this, when you slide down this page, you'll actually see the product's detail also. So so that's kind of what I've done today, is kind of broke this down to wherever you select here, it'll bring back cart 6, and this is the overall for the cart. But then this is the detail of cart. You'll see there's 4 items in here, there's 4 items here. Same thing with 5. You'll see when cart 5 comes back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in here. And this has 6 items up there. So it's kind of sharing that data for you. So once again, go out to, and let me show you where that's at here. Hang on here. Let's go out to GitHub. Where's my GitHub at? Alright, I gotta dig around for it. Okay, so when you're out here under my GitHub, this is free. When you pull this down, you will actually be able to come in here and actually grab the code. And there's only been 2 commits so far. This is the original commits, and when there has the original commit here, that means that was part of the original one. But anything that changes after that will take on the second commit description. So this is the second commit here, and you can actually look down through here and see what all I've changed. Like I just changed this 17 minutes ago, and this is where I started recording. But just go out there and grab the code, and I would suggest downloading it with a zip. When you download that from a zip, you're going to drop it into a folder, and inside of that folder, go ahead and get down to the Byte React. That's a little bit of a higher level folder. And the actual project itself, when you open up your navigation, it should look like this. You should be able to open this folder up, and all of these components will show up inside of your Visual Code. Remember, this is Visual Code here, not Visual Studio. Visual Studio is what I use more or less, do the check-ins and everything else. I don't really like how we check in with code, and I'm just so more used to just using Visual Studio. But all your code changes and stuff, you need to kind of do it out here in Visual Code. So that's basically that. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video with that today. Like I said, I'm just doing these things in small steps at a time, maybe about 10-20 minutes worth of video, so you can kind of see where we're going. And really, you can kind of figure things out. But the main thing is, I want to make sure I give you exactly what you need to install, and you will get that out of the README file. Also, you can actually look at the JSON file. This will have everything that I have in there, so you can kind of see what I've been installing. This is a material grid. I also got Bootstrap out there. So there's a couple things that I've been installing in here, but the list here off of the README text are the main ones that you'll need to run. So, so that's that so far. So anyway, that's all for today. Then tomorrow I'll come up with a part 3 and start adding more pages to it, and just kind of slowly start filling out the whole project and try to use everything out of the, you know, the dummy JSON.com. And so there's several things out here that we can actually do. I'm going to try to go ahead and get the auth set up in it, the products, receipts, users, and also this thing with the post. I'm not sure what's all out there yet, but I'll kind of figure all that out. And once again, this is going to be our REST API. And then in the next bigger project, we'll go ahead and create our REST API, just one from scratch, using Northwind database. So, okay, that's all for now. Have a good one.